On this episode of Pop Pop's Horsepower Shop, we're going to do front brakes on the S10, and the driver's side wheel has a slightly sticking caliper. We're going to put a new caliper and new ceramic front brake pads on the S10. Stay tuned. Alright, got the S10 up on jack stands in the front tires removed. We're going to tackle the driver's side brake caliper and put a new set of ceramic pads on it. There's nothing really wrong with the pads that are in it right now. When I bought the truck, the front pads were pretty low, and the only thing they had in stock was just their cheapest semi-metallic pads they had. Get the truck running, put them in, really haven't had any problems. The only issue is they make a lot of brake dust. And they do have a slight squeal when you come to a stop, so that's why we went with the ceramic pads. So for 94 S10, I went to Advance Auto, got their premium gold brake pads. Part number GMKD 154. And I also got remanufactured brake caliper for the driver's side, 18407E2. Anytime you, especially on these trucks, if you think you have a brake caliper issue, just go get a reman one. It's I think it was $35. Got a $13 core. It's $22. I had a $10 speed purse reward. It cost me $12 to put this caliper on. It comes with a new crush washer and banjo bolt. So we're going to go ahead and I'll show you. We're going to get the brake caliper and the pads off. We'll get this new one on. No special tools required. I do have a vacuum bleeder. I'm going to use that to try to, get brakes a little quicker. If you don't have one, I suggest pop the bleeder, let it sit, let it air bleed till it starts getting some fluid out, and then get a helper, pump the brakes, bleed them manually. Which even with the vacuum bleeder, I'm probably still going to have some help, and we're going to bleed the brakes manually just at the end. Make sure we have a nice firm pedal. And the only other tool that, other than just regular ratchets, sockets, I think it's Allen socket we're going to need for this one. I have a large set of channel locks to compress the piston back in. Obviously this side don't really need it compressed back in. This caliper's not going back on. But the other side, we're going to go ahead and compress the piston back in the caliper. We'll get the new pads on and go from there. It's a Southern car, so these brakes are actually in really good shape. Yes, technically these rotors should be turned anytime you do brake pads. No one around here can do this style rotor, especially because this is a spindle and hub all in one.
Like I said, this is for an S10.
The people at O'Reilly's cannot do it. We don't have a machine shop close, so these are in good shape.
Very similar to how we got
Northern cars.
2 pins.
You might want to just get a new set of.
They go through and they slide through, and it actually floats on these pins. Some are Torx. These are just 3/8 Allen socket head. These are just 3/8 Allen socket head. We're going to go ahead and break these off. They don't get super tight. I think these get torqued to 35 foot-pounds if I remember correctly. We'll get these cleaned up, and I got a tube of high temp caliper grease. We're going to make sure everything's lubed up nice and free. Before I take that out the whole way, the banjo bolt that goes through the brake line. Let me see if I can bring it down here and show you. So there's the brake line, and it goes into the caliper right here. This is the banjo bolt. While I still have this caliper on, I'm going to go ahead and just break that loose. Like I said, the new caliper comes with a new bolt and a new crush washer. So once I get that broke loose, and then we can finish taking out the top bolt, and we'll get the new caliper installed. Right. Banjo bolt is broke loose. It's 11 millimeter on this one. Might be actually 3/8, but 11 fit. The new caliper comes with new guide bolts, so that's nice. So we're just going to go ahead and remove these and get this out of here, and we're just going to set this caliper right here. Here's our banjo bolt. So make sure you have a drain pan ready, because we are going to lose some brake fluid here. Go. I'll let that drain. Clean up these mating surfaces a little bit. They just kind of sit on just like that. And put these through. All right, these are both snug. When I get everything put together, when I come in and torque them, like I said, I think they get 35 foot-pounds. I'll check in service information, see what that is exactly. Let's go ahead and get this hose hooked back up. So actually, it's pretty cool. Came with new hardware for brake pads, in case you were reusing your same brake pads again. So new banjo bolt, new crush washers. So one goes on, goes through the brake hose, and then the other one, so the brake hose has crush washers on either side. Just make sure your hose is not kinked when you put that in. Check service information. The caliper bolt's 37 foot-pounds. The banjo bolt is 32 foot-pounds. So we're going to go ahead and get these torqued. 37. Alright, so this is all on. There is the brake hose and the banjo bolt. One thing I want to express when you put it on, make sure that banjo bolt just screws in by hand. You do not want to cross thread that thing. It's going to leak like crazy. So once that all screws in by hand, you're good to go. Everything's torqued down. New brake pads are in. Clean up with a little bit of brake clean here. And then we're going to go over and get to the other side. And then I'll show you about bleeding the brakes. But we'll come back to that in a second. Alright, we are over on the passenger side. Same deal. Only thing is everything's being reused. As you can see, this caliper has been replaced one time. And the only thing to do when we get this loose, we're going to compress the piston. Use a big pair of channel locks, water pump pliers, tongue and groove, whatever you want to call them. And we'll get that caliper pushed out the whole way. new pads put in, everything tightened back up and torqued, and then we'll get to bleeding the brakes. Now while I'm working on this, I have the other side, I have the bleeder cracked open, just letting it gravity bleed. As you can see, when we were working on it, you could see how it was dripping. So it'll drip in and it'll fill the caliper up at least some of the way. Go. Remove this side. So what we want to do, be very careful with this hose. I'm going to leave this brake pad in, squeeze and push that piston back. Just go nice and easy pressure, because it is going to push the fluid back up into the master cylinder, and with any amount of luck, it pushed it over into our new brake caliper. So that would actually help. So that's back in. Everything's looking good. These are the pins that actually float. I'm going to go ahead and clean them up a little bit and put some new lube on those. Let's see if I can hang this caliper here. Cleaned up. Put some new caliper lube here. If these pins don't slide free, there's actually like a rubber in there. It can hang up your brake caliper or cause the brake pads to wear unevenly. So it only takes a second to clean them up, a little brake clean, new caliper lube, and they're nice and free now. Now we can go ahead, put the brake pads in. There's the inner. There's the outer. Brake hose is not twisted. It's just right and then right like that. Clean up these bolts. Snug. Brake hose is straight. Reset the torque wrench to 37 foot-pounds. And there we have it. Now, if we didn't replace the caliper on the other side, we wouldn't have to bleed brakes. All you have to do is go ahead, you know, I say straighten the wheels out. Go in gently, push the brake pedal down till you get solid pedal again. That'll compress everything back against the rotors. Then take it for a drive. You know, keep your foot on the brake a little bit, let them seat into the rotors, and you should be good to go. But now we got to go back over to the other side, and I'm going to show you how we vacuum bleed it and go from there. I'm going to switch stuff around. I'm going to clean this up with a little bit of brake clean and go back to the other side. So this is my vacuum brake bleeder setup. It uses compressed air to pull a vacuum into the chamber, and it'll actually suck the brake fluid right out of the caliper. This just goes on your bleeder valve, and I'll show you a little bit about it, but the air compressor is going to make a whole lot of noise, so I'm not going to record that. So this just goes on the bleeder. And these are 10 millimeter. Let me get a 10 millimeter. That way I can crack the bleeder. Go ahead and pull that. Crack the bleeder. You can see that it's starting to take the lines, and go ahead and pull this through. I'm going to stop the video there and let it do its thing because it's going to be too loud. Air compressor is going to kick on here in a second, and I'll come back when we're done. Alright, went to record the last little part of finishing up there, and of course the battery in the camera went dead, so yeah, go figure. Anyway, front disc brakes, especially on, you know, older cars, probably 2010 and older, they're all pretty much the same. You can easily replace the pads. See, I think the pads, for good ceramic pads, you know, don't cheap out on the brake pads. I think they were about $50 for this. You know, may vary for your car, but they're all very similar on how they go together. You compress the piston, put the new pads in it. If you aren't replacing the rotors, bolt everything up, make sure it's torqued. Gently squeeze the brake pedal till you have a nice solid pedal again. Check your brake fluid, make sure it's full, and take it for a slow ride around. I run it slow. I drag my foot on the brake, try to get everything seated in, do some easy stops, some harder stops, and it don't take long for the brake pads to sit in or seat in. So you can save a lot of money. A garage is probably going to charge you $100 for the pads, probably $200 for labor. You can do it, you know, $50 to $100 tops. It's pretty easy. You just need to have jack stands, a few simple hand tools, and you can do it. I noticed when on the truck, my left front shock absorber is leaking, so I have got some shocks on order. So the next project is going to be putting some new front shocks on that one. And then the project after that, probably going to do the rear brakes on that one. That's going to be a little trickier. They are drum brakes on the back. Once you have the tools and the knowledge how to do it, you can be able to do that one too. Anyway, like, share, subscribe, leave a comment below, and as always, have a nice day. Thanks for watching.